Is Zach Wilson going to be doing that for the Miami Dolphins? Oh. Coach McDaniel has come out and said, after being asked about Tua Tagovailoa's struggles, is there a quarterback change possibility? Everything's on the table, says McDaniel. Talks table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. What does that mean whenever that answer is given?
Everything's open. It's exactly what he said. Usually coaches lie, but I believe that we've seen the worst. Some bad football. I won't say the worst. It's been some bad quarterback play this year, but it's been some terrible quarterback play. We talked about all the reasons earlier with all the quarterbacks in his class. When you're at this point in your career, you can't do some of the things that Tua has been doing.
BA, when a coach says this publicly, that means conversations have already happened behind closed doors, that he's allowed to say that about the franchise quarterback you've already paid?
Yeah, I think it's already been set in stone. We're switching. And talked to you yesterday. I'm going to put it out today.
Okay, and now who has to be a part of that decision? Everybody, right? Chris Greer gets fired, so obviously there's no GM or president, but you would think top down would have to be a part of the head coach coming out and saying, hey, the quarterback that we paid a lot of money is potentially not the quarterback anymore. Like, that is a massive statement to make, I think, by the head coach.
Yeah, you're going to the ownership. You're going straight up top. Hey, we're making this move, and you have to have their blessing.
And there's been signs, too, like against, I think it was the Browns or whenever it was when, they had that interaction where Tua threw a pick and McDaniel basically, very, very animatedly, if that's a word, basically was like, all right, sit this guy the hell down. And then, other stuff happened as well. But, like, there has been things like it feels as though this isn't out of nowhere, even though, the losses and stuff have piled up.
Let's go to Hammer time. AP Tone. Tone, we thought there was a chance that this game was going to be a clear house situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Instead, your team is on the side that is actually causing changes on the other side. Good for you, Tone. I know you didn't think that was necessarily going to be the outcome last night.
Yeah, it feels really good to be on this side. It feels nice to be happy the day after a game. It feels nice to respect your team and be proud of the team that you watched play on Monday Night Football instead of, the Miami Dolphins, who haven't won a playoff game in 25 years, and their quarterback stinks.
Okay, let's go to the other half of the Hammer Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino. What do you hear from McDaniel here whenever he's saying everything's on the table?
Even on the win streak, Tua wasn't playing that great. You can look at his numbers.
No.
It was
Here
like 14 to 21. Like, we can go back. Give me Quinn Ewers as well. I don't need to see Zach Wilson. Let's trot out the rookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers goes from first overall pick to seventh rounder somehow. I don't know how that took place for his college career, but maybe him and McDaniel's system, maybe he is the one that needs to do it. And Zach Wilson, what have you been so negative about? A lot of quarterbacks that have left New York have gone on to have prosperous careers in their second chapter, third chapter.
Ewers already jumped him for backup in one game. He came in that Browns game, so it has happened before. So I imagine it is on the table.
I think I saw Ewers in a shiesty last night, and I said, I forgot Ewers was on the Dolphins. Is that what you did as well, AJ?
Yeah, a little bit, but can any of these guys save his job, the head coach's job?
Well, that's the thing, especially with this offense, right? Because there's a lot of shit to it. It's kind of what we learned through the
But what if Ewers comes in and lights it up then? Could McDaniel say, hey, man, I told you, Tua's just not seeing it how I see it, but other guys will?
And they have kind of turned it around. Like, this was, of all the teams in the NFL, the team in Miami, after firing their GM, you would think, be like, all right, let's quit and let's just have some fun in Miami. But, like, they didn't quit per se.
Are they 1-6? We start 1-6.
Yeah, they were awful.
And when people quit, they say that's on the coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did kind of quit last night, though.
They were cold.
The coach kind of.
No, they kept fighting.
No, they kept. Yeah, take your time on this.
Okay.
Make sure we're under 4-minute offense here.
Let's do this thing right.
4-minute offense here. Let's go ahead and operate
This is
here.
exactly why you got to root for multiple teams. That's exactly why. It's example one, exhibit A. This because, like, imagine just being, what did you say, Tone? 25 years, wait for a playoff win. It is week 15 just wrapped up. This season's already done. Probably new coach, probably new quarterback. Guess what? I got Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I got the Chargers and Hurts. I'm Chargers and freaking Herbert.
Herbert. You're not. You don't got him, baby.
That's why D-Buck's not getting sent to any coach.
Don't call yourself a fan. You're not a fan. You're a football fan. And to your point, is exactly why you stay a fan of one team. Hold on. Because when you suck for this long, once you finally get good again, it means more. Ask Foxy.
Yeah,
Foxy's team has sucked his whole life. They're finally good. It it means more.
Yeah,
I mean, look
D-Buck
at
said
me.
25 years. It took me 30 years to see my team win one playoff game, and that was the greatest day of my life.
Now, on that note, was it worth 30 years of suffer?
That's a long time.
It built character. It built grit.
Boom.
It turned
D-Buck's
me
like,
into
I
the
got
man
character.
I am today.
I got character. I got
Now,
grit.
guess what? Detroit's on the borderline of being out of it again. It's
Whoa,
gonna be
whoa,
shitty
whoa!
again.
8-6 football team. 8-6 football team.
Borderline right now. Hey, root for multiple teams. Look, I'm a fan of play. I'm blood in, blood out with the Dolphins. I'll forever be a Dolphin fan. It sucks, yeah. Same thing with the Colts. That's my football family, football home. So that's one side of the bucket.
And
It's another bucket where, as a player, I'm a fan of players. I'm a huge fan of Herbert, huge fan of Hurts. So they made me a fan of their team. So it's two different buckets, but I'm going to enjoy every football season.
Ex-players.
Everyone.
Ex-players can also do that.
Agree.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Because I see organizations differently. I know
Right.
Well, and also,
fans-
all these teams could have drafted you. For instance, I grew up in Pittsburgh. Steelers could have drafted me.
Uh-huh.
I want pick 222. Okay, that's a long time waiting around where they could have picked me. The Colts said, hey, we would like to financially invest in your family's future. So my family picked up the Indianapolis Colts as a thank you. And I am an Indianapolis Colts fan because of that. So I do think ex-players are a little bit different.
Yes.
But you've been a little bit greedy with your just picking everybody that's good to become a fan of.
Good
You know?
place to be.
Okay, and for the Miami Dolphins, you're bummed out.
Man, I thought they were different. I really.
Man, they're the same cold Dolphins.
Dude, they were playing so much better. Their run game was awesome. Just the different stuff that they were doing. I thought going against the defense that was struggling against the run, I really thought they could go in there, make it a good game in the fourth quarter. Tua would make a throw or two. And they were in the first half, but that was because of their defense, not their offense. I was just so disappointed with the way they played. I'm disappointed with how Tua's played all year. I've been a huge fan of Tua's. I still am. But goodness gracious, man, the turnovers are just debilitating. And, performance last night only kind of reiterates a lot of the question marks about, the long-standing spot in the organization moving forward, which stinks because I'm a huge fan.
And for McDaniel and Tua, you're just saying maybe the future looks different for the Miami Dolphins, and you're saying that Gumpy is just going to have to kind of strap in for just another turnover. And here's the contract details for Tua Tagovailoa. If he's traded before June 1st, it's only a $45.2 million dead cap hit in 2026. If he's traded post June 1st, it's 13.4 in 2026 and then 31.8 in 2027. With where the cap is headed and how much money is already dead in most places, this feels like something the Dolphins would be willing to take on. But I guess another team would have to pick something up. B.A., what are your thoughts on any of the movement for potential Tua post-Dolphins?
Yeah, I don't see anybody picking up any of that money.
What?
Yeah.
Just the guy hasn't gotten any better, in my opinion, in the last 3 years. If anything, he's got worse. He took 2 sacks. You just throw the damn ball away.
Terrible.
You're running to your left. You're left-handed. You're 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and you take 2 sacks.
What year is this for him?
Oh,
Too many.
6, maybe?
Same as Burrow.
Yeah.
Right? So
And Herbert. Yep.
Yeah, because the way we judge those quarterbacks is how situational football they are. What are they like with their football IQ? Yada, 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 all those things. And you talk about if Patrick Mahomes was to take a sack and not throw the ball away or something like that, we would bury him, obviously. Whenever we talk about guys who are in their 6th year, whenever we're talking about being in their 2nd contract, show me the money. To a bunch of fans that are showing up at a free event, probably because they do not have the ability to get tickets. So screaming that. We're talking about at least becoming an elite quarterback. Like that is kind of the goal of the entire thing. And you're saying there's too many things that are just like very much on display. That
like Dan said, the first interception. He's got a 2-man route. They're playing cover 2.
Yeah.
You're trying to throw a corner route with nobody in the flat to hold the corner, and you throw it right to the corner. I mean, Asante Samuel's just standing there. Throw me the ball. And he did. I mean, that's inexcusable for a 6-year vet.
And they did do a little stat, too, on there to BA's point about how I think 15 of his interceptions are against zone. So, like, a lot of the times in man, it's awesome because he's got, high flyers all around, flying around. But when it's in zone, he's not really reading anything. He's just throwing to a spot, and then a guy like Asante Samuel Jr. is just standing there.
When there's eyes on you, when they're just waiting literally for you to throw it to you, it's a little different than whenever everything was kind of operating full speed and you're throwing to a spot and everybody was kind of trying to figure out your game. I think now defenses get a book, right? That's kind of what the conversation
You get the book and you get the motions and you know the spots. I guarantee if you look at like a heat map of Tua, like it'll be between the numbers and the hash. Those would be like dark red, and everything else would be, blue or light blue. And I always go back to like my ISO cam test. If I'm just watching the quarterback and I'm just watching Tua, as soon as he goes from his first read and he gets to his second read, his everything just gets off whack. His feet, his eyes, and it's almost like nothing good is going to happen. BA talked about it.
Yeah.
The sack, like taking those sacks, like you can't take at least make it a situation where you got to think about going for it in this situation. But when you take this sack, this is like something we talk about with rookie quarterbacks, where it's like, okay, you got to get used to the time. Understanding that throwaway is a good play. Like we're in
It was
year
14-3.
Yeah, we can't have these conversations. You're looking at his class, you're talking about Burrow, Herbert, Hurts. Like those look like veteran quarterbacks. They'll have a bad day here and there, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to make the right plays.
All right, let's move past the Miami Dolphins, which look like a sad franchise.
Absolute shite.
Looks like it's the Finkel days almost, but they can only dream to have a moment in which a missed kick would matter. Right?
They're in the middle of the purgatory too, where they've won enough games where they won't have a big.
How's
nice
the 14th pick?
No thanks.
Oh.
Methinks that stinks.
Dan Marino was on the sideline last night too, so the fans actually got a chance to see what glory almost times were like for the Miami Dolphins. And he's talking to Seven, who's obviously filled with wonderment of what he is seeing. Santa Claus actually came to the game last night. What you don't see on this camera is Dan Marino and Ben Roethlisberger seeing Santa Claus for the first time.
Reactions.
Yeah, bah humbug, Dan.
Well, Dan said, I fucking saw him yesterday. You told me you weren't coming here. And Ben's like, Santa, this is obviously two magical moments.
I know what happened.
Okay.
Ben saw Aaron spin it, was like, oh, we're awesome.
Okay.
And Dan saw it and was like, oh, we're fucked tonight.
So it's not. So it wasn't Santa Claus.
I think it was
That's
a little
what
bit of
Tua
both.
threw that pick.
Oh, jeez. Okay, that is potentially that moment.